Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is day 40 of my learning journey in Blender. This is daily CGI, just a quick update in regards to what I've been studying and doing in Blender tonight. I continued following tutorials and attempting to learn from concepts that are both new and intimidating to me. I won't go on about it for too long, but I continued the Humane rigging tutorial series that I've been following. This time I completed the chapter that involves rigging a 3D ball for animating in a 3D space or a 3D environment. It was less about the 3D ball. The focus was more on the underlying concepts that they were trying to teach about rotations. So 2D and 3D rotations, the difference between rotation and orientation, the different types of rotation, i.e. rotation delta, rotation paths. And then a good chunk of this tutorial section was spent trying to drive home the differences between Euler rotations and quaternion rotations. Quaternion rotations is a brand new concept to me. It doesn't come naturally. So while I understand the core concept, like at the very most basic level, I understand it, but it's going to take multiple viewings of the video and also some additional reading and looking for alternative resources to see if people explain it differently and what extra information I can learn about it from. That sentence didn't make sense. But yeah, they also covered basics of transform matrices. Luckily, they didn't go into any mathematical like formula or anything like Euler's rotation theorem. Jeez. But it was good. In the end, we were able to make this 3D bouncing 3D ball rig. Just a quick demonstration here. You can rotate that around the main control. Do you call these controls? I don't know. See, that's how little I know still, but you can scale it up and down. That's a maintain volume constraint applied. Everything stretches and squashes nicely, if I do say so myself. I think this one's the spin control, so you can control spin like so. This would be the counter spin, so this is interesting. If you rotate this and you get to a certain position in the rotation, so like the W value 0.713, this one basically takes that variable and applies a negative value to it, so it's minus 0.713, so I think that's how it achieves that. And yeah, you can make it look nicer, something like this. I sort of learned how to hide bones on different layers, which is nice and neat. So that's that. Quaternion rotations, hey? Can't live with them, can't live without them. Let's see. So I might take a break from rigging for a couple of days. Just I want to let the information sink in and don't want to suffer from information overload. So I'll give my mind a chance to process the information and then get back at it maybe next week. But it seems like a good place to take a break from it. Other than that, I followed some simple one-off tutorials that were recommended to me by YouTube. I discovered Josh Gambrell YouTube channel and followed a few well-presented tutorials on good topology, hard surfaces, that kind of thing. But yeah, the one in particular that I found helpful, the right way to cut holes in surfaces in Blender, that was a pretty good one. My logic in Blender up until now has been whatever works. I just would rather create something in a short space of time that looks passable or decent, but may not have the best underlying topology behind the scenes. I'd rather do that than create nothing at all if given the option. Well, now I'm interested in learning the right way of doing things, now that I'm a bit more confident, a bit more proficient in the software. So for example, something basic like how to cut a hole in surfaces. Previously, I was just using a Boolean modifier, but I guess it wasn't good topology. So there's a neat way to do things, and you also cut down on the number of overall steps that you have to take. This method is more efficient than what I was doing. So that was cool. Oh yeah, I'll show you. I got the wrong window open. I'll get out of that one. Here we go. So the core concept, you take the circle that you want to make, you apply a shrink wrap modifier and get it to stick to the side of another object that you want to cut a hole in. Then you do some loop cuts around that area once it's shrink wrapped. Cut the faces out around it, so you'd cut out all these faces here, and then basically start linking up the vertices into, you know, neat pairs, groups of 4 or whatever, because you don't want n-gons or triangles apparently. So yeah, you end up with something like this, which looks way better than what I was coming out with, but it's fine. It's all part of the learning process. I'm going to use this all the time now. My logic here is that if I just do lots of small videos on good topology, I'm just going to use it again and again, never use the old way when this way is like infinitely better. So yeah, that's that. Might seem simple to some, but it's worth documenting since it's a part of the process. Oh well, I'll call it quits here. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.